Beekeepers, if your colonies are too strong during the winter, what I mean by too strong is if your queen is laying and you have a lot of brood in your colony midwinter. It depends on where you live, but I'm in Michigan. I can't count on spring until after March, sometimes May. What's going to happen is, because I lost so many colonies last spring, and sugar got too expensive. Domino cane sugar got way too expensive. $8.36 a 10-pound bag. What I did was I took all my frames of honey off the colonies that created frames of honey, and I gave it to all the colonies that didn't have frames of honey. And that's how I figured I'd get through winter. But I've come across a lot of colonies where the queens have not stopped laying. And I happen to notice Tennessee Bees, or whatever his name is, he's got a video on, he just recently posted, he's got a frame of brood, cat brood, and he's bragging about how his queens have started laying. I kind of think his queens have already kept laying all through winter. And I wouldn't be bragging about that. You're going to eat up all your reserve honey, and if it's too cold outside to give them syrup, they won't take the syrup because it's too cold. And if you give them a pollen substitute, they still got to have honey or syrup. They're going to starve to death before spring. So this right here is a large colony. I don't have very many small colonies, and I'm having to give them frames of honey, and I don't have very many frames of honey left. And I'm also checking for a queen, and if there's any cat brood in here. But look how many bees are there. Normally, I don't have colonies. There's the queen. Normally, I don't have colonies this big this time of year. And I may think, well, I'm going to have lots of big colonies in the spring. I'm going to do splits and everything else. But if they starve to death before spring, all this anticipation of having a great spring, you're going to find out, well, it didn't turn out that way. So there is a lot of danger into having your colonies get too large too soon. If you're somebody like me that didn't feed them syrup because you didn't want to spend the money on it, or even if you did feed syrup and your colonies eat all their honey and it gets too cold in the spring, you can't give them syrup. What I have done in the past is I go to the store and I buy some local honey, and I will pour it. I put a dab of honey. Let me set this frame down before I damage this queen. What I have done in the past, if I knew a colony didn't have a lot of honey, I take and I squirt honey on the screen every day, and I feed them honey that way. I don't actually open the hive and try to put in frames of honey. But I don't know. It's just like the other day I found a colony that had several frames of brood. Why? I don't get why these bees are doing brood. It's not because they've been inside. I was inspecting colonies that were outside. So I wouldn't be bragging about having several frames of brood during the middle of winter, all right? It's way too early for that. Even in Tennessee, you could still have several more weeks of cold temperatures. And if it does warm up for a few days, it could get cold again, okay? I've had trees blossom out and then had cold temperatures where the bees wouldn't fly, take advantage of those trees, okay? There's a lot of danger in that, okay? Thank you.